On May 22, 2020, a Pakistan International Airlines Flight 8303, an Airbus 320 was scheduled to run from Allama Iqbal International Airport in Lahore to Jinnah International Airport in Karachi, Pakistan. The flight journey of 635 miles, which takes around 90 minutes. The flight was piloted by Captain Sajjad Gul and First Officer Usman Azam. There were 82 adult passengers, 9 children, and 8 crew members on board the aircraft. The skies were clear and conditions ideal when aircraft left Lahore at 1:05 p.m. on May 22nd. The total journey from Lahore to Karachi would take around 90 minutes. However, the fates of the passengers were already sealed when they boarded the flight, as near the end of its 90-minute journey, around 2:45, the plane crashed into densely populated neighborhood of Model Colony, around 3 kilometers from Jinnah International Airport in Karachi, killing 91 passengers and 8 crew on board. Pakistan International Airlines Flight 8303 was an Airbus 320. The Airbus 320 family are narrow-body airliners designed and produced by Airbus. The A320 usually seats 140 to 170 passengers and has a maximum capacity of up to 180 travelers. The cruising speed of Airbus 320 is around 500 miles per hour, flying at 36,000 feet. The aircraft was powered by 2 CFM56 engines with the fuel tank's capacity of 23,860 liters, giving the aircraft a range of 5,000 km with maximum number of passengers. Also, the plane had capability to fly with just one engine if needed. In fact, it can even continue the takeoff and then safely land with just one engine. PIA Flight 8303 was leased to Pakistan International Airlines by GECAS on 31st October 2014. The engines were most recently installed in February and May 2019. The landing gear was installed in October 2014 and was next due for major servicing or replacement after 10 years in 2024. The Pakistan International Airlines Engineering Department reported that the last routine maintenance on the plane was conducted on 21st March 2020. The most comprehensive check was last performed on 19th October 2019, during which no defects were found in its engines, landing gear or avionics. From 22nd March to 7th May 2020, the plane had remained grounded owing to the flight cancellations amid the global COVID-19 pandemic. From 7th May onwards, the plane had conducted 6 flights. The Civil Aviation Authority had declared the aircraft fit for flight until 5th November. The plane had operated a flight from Muscat to Lahore on the day prior to the accident. The aircraft had logged 47,124 flight hours. As per Pakistan's Aviation Minister Ghulam Sarwar Khan, there was nothing wrong with the aircraft run by Pakistan International Airlines. As per initial investigations, it was revealed that there were a series of unfortunate events which led to this tragedy. It was found that during the aircraft's first approach to land at 2:30 p.m., the plane was at 15 nautical miles from Karachi at Makli, flying at an altitude of 10,000 feet instead of recommended 7,000 feet. Air traffic controller issued its first warning to reduce altitude. Instead of descending, one of the pilots responded by saying he was satisfied with the descent profile. When only 10 nautical miles from the airport, the aircraft was at an altitude of 7,000 feet instead of recommended 3,000 feet. The plane's data entry record showed that as the plane was 10 nautical miles from the runway, its landing gears had opened. However, when the plane was at 5 nautical miles away, the landing gear was pulled up. Air traffic controller issued a second instruction to turn to descend. One of the pilots responded again by stating that he was satisfied and able to handle the situation, and he was prepared for landing. Due to this, the pilot of A320 descended at twice the normal rate. The pilots failed to deploy the landing gear correctly as they were preoccupied with efforts to get the A320 onto the glide slope. And speed is an issue because landing gear will not deploy above 260 nautical miles. They went across the runway threshold at 210 nautical miles, well above the recommended 140 nautical miles. As a result, the aircraft scraped the runway multiple times, due to which the engine's oil tank and fuel pump got severely damaged and started to leak, preventing the pilot from achieving the required thrust and speed to raise the aircraft to safety. Unaware of this, the pilots decided to try second approach after a failed landing. It was only during the go-around that the air traffic controller was informed that landing gear was not deploying. The pilot was directed by the air traffic controller to take the aircraft to 3000 feet, but he managed only 1800 feet. When the cockpit was reminded to go for 3000 feet level, the first officer said, "We are trying."
For Pakistan 8303, we would like to come again for ILS 25 left.
Descend left heading 110, climb 3000.
Left heading confirm.
From left heading 110, climb 3000.
110, climb 3000, Pakistan 8303.
8303, you are jumping altitude 2000.
Sir, we have just give me 2000.
So maintain 2000. 8303, most rally showing 1800 feet at descent.
Sir, copied sir, we are now trying to maintain sir.
The failure to achieve the directed height indicates that the engines were not responding. The aircraft thereafter tilted on return.
8303 approach.
Ji sir.
Appears to be turning left.
While proceeding that sir, we have lost engines.
Confirm you are carrying out belly landing. Runway available to land at 25.
Roger. Sir, Mayday, Pakistan 8303.
Pakistan 8303, Roger sir, both runways available to land.
The plane then plunged into Jinnah Garden area near Model Colony in Malur on Friday afternoon, minutes before its landing in Karachi's Jinnah International Airport. The plane exploded on impact, killing all but 2 people aboard and a girl on the ground. The country's deadliest aviation accident in 8 years came just days after flights resumed following weeks of inaction due to the COVID-19 restrictions. Pakistan's Minister for Aviation Ghulam Sarwar Khan said the pilot and the co-pilot were not focused and their lack of concentration had resulted in plane crash. The minister added that the pilots were discussing about COVID-19 as it had affected their families and were not paying attention to their job. As a result of this crash, an investigation was launched, and Pakistan International Airlines grounded 150 pilots over claims they may not hold a valid license. Pakistan's aviation minister told in Pakistan's parliament that many commercial pilots hold fake licenses. It was also revealed that 40% of pilots at Pakistan International Airlines were flying aircraft with fake licenses. These pilots did not give the exams themselves and did not have the proper flying experience. There were 2 survivors. Mohammad Zubair, one of the 2 surviving passengers, said there were 10 to 15 minutes between the first attempt at landing and the crash. No one was aware that the plane was about to crash. They were flying the plane in a smooth manner, he said. He also recalled how he lost consciousness during the sudden descent and then woke up to smoke and screaming. He managed to escape by walking towards the light and jumping down about 10 feet to safety.